And welcome to Guillotines and Guitars here in the Guillotines and Guitar Studios here in Hartsville, South Carolina.
We're back.
Yes, we are back. And we're talking about guillotines. We're on the guillotines. Man, we ain't had a guillotines in a while. Yeah, there it is. I love it.
It was just a little bit there. It was almost there.
I love it. Tonight we're talking about Robert Pickton. The
No.
Pigback Palace. Robert Pickton.
Robert Pickton.
Pickton. Pigback Palace.
And it wasn't Pigback Palace.
Piggyback Palace.
Piggy Palace.
The Piggy Palace.
Piggy Palace murder.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. This dude is scary.
We got a show to do.
This dude is scary. So before we get started, I would like to invite everybody to go to YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, that bell. Go to, ding, ding, ding. And go to Facebook, like us, share us. Share us with the world. Share us with your friends that don't know about us. We'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We guarantee they will love us.
Yep.
Or they will hate us.
It'll be in between.
They not like us.
Oh, they not like us. Oh, that was perfect.
Hey, they like us or they not like us? It's one or the other.
Before every subject, we do a libation to go ahead and christen the show. So what we got tonight there, Trey?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. So we've so Scott a few weeks ago bought this this awesome this box from
Costco.
From Costco. Of these twisted shots, it's the tailgate, the 15 party pack. So we've done several of them. So we don't have 3 of one. So I'm gonna give everybody 1 of
3.
3.
1 or 3.
Ooh,
That
never
one,
had this one.
This one is open and gone. Somebody
Who did that?
Somebody has gotten into our.
Who's been in the Advent calendar? Who stole the chocolate?
Somebody. I don't know, but
Damn it.
that leaves me with the rattlesnake, and I know that wasn't a good one, but okay.
What the hell does that say?
I don't even know what that is.
I get the
Chocomosa?
Chocolate mousse.
Chocolate mousse.
That one should be
Chocolate
good.
mousse. It brings out the.
I know that one.
All right. Here we go. Here's
All right,
the
let's
guillotine,
try.
guys.
So I'm drinking the nasty rattlesnake one that we did when we did the Lizard Man show.
I'm a snake.
That's terrible.
Don't do that. Yeah.
All right.
Please don't
Cheers,
do that.
guys.
Yeah.
Here's the guillotine.
Ugh.
That son of a gun has some booze in it, buddy.
You have no idea, John. Yeah.
Actually, that's not bad.
Oh my God.
That wasn't bad at all. Mine wasn't bad.
Trey's over there heaving. So
Did the
his wasn't good.
snake get you?
That's terrible.
The snake get you?
I'm sorry. I love all the twisted shots. We do twisted shots. That's like our shot to start every show. I'm twisted. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just put that rattlesnake away. just stop with that one. Don't ever. In the words of Johnny Depp in the Lone Ranger, don't ever do that again. That was not good.
All right. Tonight we're talking about gruesome Robert Pickton.
Robert Pickton.
Well, whatever.
There's
One's
Piggy
name
Palace
same.
murder.
The Piggy Palace murder. Piggy
Piggy Palace murders.
Yes.
So,
And there's a reason behind that.
Let's before we get started, for anybody who doesn't know what this story is, let me give a quick just synopsis of it. It is
What?
Don't use big words.
Sinatra? I heard Sinatra.
Don't use
That's all I heard.
Sinatra.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. This is about Robert Pickton, who in the early 90s or late 90s, he was a pig farmer. From his family. And when his parents died, he had all the land, and he tried to keep on pig farming, and it didn't work out. So he sold most of the land, kept a lot of stuff, but he ended up being a serial killer. and he mostly killed
Between
prostitutes.
20 and 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
Prostitutes, and he did this for years and years before he was caught. But anyway, that's what we're talking about, and so let's discuss.
Yes.
Now.
So
Well, you just said everything you need to say.
we're in. And by the way, we're not in America. We're in Canada. By the way.
Yeah.
So this happened all in Canada.
What part of Canada?
Port. I can't pronounce it. Port. I can't pronounce it.
Port what?
Vancouver?
No, I can't pronounce. I just can't pronounce it. I know it's Port.
Well, between 95 and 2001, he's believed to murdered 26 women, most of them prostitutes, from Vancouver's downtown east side. So I don't know what port you're talking about.
I thought it was in the British Columbia area,
Well, it was
which is
like we're from Hartsville. He was from Pine Ridge.
Yeah.
It was a port something that I can't.
Provincial?
It
Providence?
Was something, it had a Q in there.
Port Lucia.
The British Columbia provincial government. Is that what you're trying to get to?
No. Obviously, you guys didn't do your homework.
I did my homework, but I've never heard of this. I don't know what this port you're talking about.
It was in British
a British Columbia, but it was like in the county of Port,
Vancouver.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, downtown east side.
So
the down to east side was the impoverished part of the city.
So you know
Port Coquitlam?
Thank you. Yes.
Coquitlam?
I see. You can't even pronounce it, can you?
I know.
I can't either.
Well, I'm not. I have a southern accent. I can't pronounce these.
When it had it, because I know the QU messes me. You got to do the.
It's COQUITIAM, but I
Quantum
sorry.
leap. That's what I said.
Quantum leap. I don't know how to pronounce that though.
But anyway, okay. So
I just know it was 27 kilometers east of Vancouver.
Yeah,
Vancouver.
So let's delve into this now.
Here we go.
Yep.
This show's over.
Robert Pickton. This guy was, from what he did, was, I mean, unconscionable when you think about it.
Him and Ted Ginn should have been brothers for what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because he used the meat hooks and he bled his victims.
But he was a pig farmer. His parents, when he grew up, they were pig farmers.
Mm-hmm.
When they died, of course, everything was left to them. Mm-hmm. The land and everything. And him and his brother tried to continue, being a pig farmer.
Yeah.
And they couldn't make it work. And so they found a developing company, and they they sold a lot of their land, and they ended up getting like $5 million for most of their land around. They kept their house and like where the slaughterhouse that they had for the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
They sold the rest of the land and got like $5 million, which is a lot of money. And so, what Robert Pickton decided to do was he wanted to be like a start some kind of charity foundation where he helps people, or that's what he said he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so he took some of that money and did that, and he created the Piggy Palace. I can't remember what the name of it was. It was a strange name. It should have set alarm bells off for authorities, but it was like Piggy Palace Good Time.
Oh yeah, it was some weird.
Yeah,
name.
it was a weird name.
I'm stuck on Piggy Palace, but you're right.
But it was to help the community, and they started out doing that, helping the community. They started having parties.
The Piggy Palace Good Times Society.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
Piggy Palace Good Time Society. Now, but when they started, they were helping the community. They were feeding the homeless. Feeding homeless. They were doing all these kind of good things.
Mm-hmm.
But they were also having parties on
The side.
on the property.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they actually turned it. They would have bands there, and then they would have motorcycle gangs come. And Robert Pickton started going to the east side where all the prostitutes were, picking them up and bringing them to the parties too. You know, and it almost was like a rave, not just a party. You know, but
It got kind of nasty.
yeah, and it was on the property.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they had the slaughterhouse still there that they owned.
You know,
And-
that'd be my first red flag. We're having a party at a slaughterhouse.
You think that though? Because I thought about that the same. I know what you're trying to say, and I thought the exact same thing. Because I think back about some wild, weird parties that I went to at some wild, weird places. I think that if we went to a party, I don't know that I would think twice about it. This just happened to be a place. This is where he did his business, and this is where we party over here on the side.
And
We
I'm
didn't
feeling kind of funny right about now. You know?
No, but I see where you're coming from,
Yeah.
and that's the way I looked at it, because I was like, I mean, yeah, I've been in some weird places to have a party where some things were on the side, but I could see going to something like that, and probably, well, obviously they didn't, because they did it for a long time. They kept going to these places.
I think they started the Piggy Palace Society of
Yeah.
Good Times or whatever in
And
96 or 97. I
But
think.
even that, like, evolved into that, right? He didn't just say, okay, this is what it's called now, and they
Yeah.
started it. This was something, I feel like this was something that evolved. So this was something like the local people probably knew about this place, had to, and say, oh, this is our place where we can go, and there's no
his
cops
neighbors
around.
and all, yeah, knew about it, and it was like,
Yeah.
you know, hey, it's a good, we can go there and have a good time, and also it's for a good cause, because apparently what they were saying was the money raised or whatever was going to go to a good cause, and
Yeah.
and also and the food that Robert Pickton made also went to a good cause, because I mean he gave
Bacon.
yeah, we'll get to that later, but yeah, he gave some of this food to like orphanages and food banks.
Yeah.
So he actually did good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but what is it? But was it because he was
At
it like
the
a
cost
guilty?
of what?
Was it a guilty conscience that made him want to do that, or was it an alibi that he tried to build himself?
Mhm. So what you got on that?
That's what I want to know, because that's not what I've seen, and I haven't watched these documentaries completely. I've watched little bits in here and there, but I wonder if that's did he do it to make himself look better so nobody would think that he was the one that had anything to do with these girls disappearing?
Well,
or was it something else?
And the thing is, from what I've watched a lot on this, because it was so disturbing, the story, you know.
Yeah.
And for what I can get, and there's a video out there with him in prison where he thinks he's talking to another inmate, but it was a setup where it was an undercover cop goes in there and the whole thing's filmed, and
Right.
you can go out there, you can watch the whole video, and it's sickening to see how this guy's thought process. But what it was he was using these parties to lure prostitutes in, and his whole thought process was these are women who were working in some of the baddest parts of the city,
Right.
you know. So if they
It's like
go missing,
Jack the Ripper felt the same way.
if they go missing, nobody's gonna miss them.
Yeah.
You know. So
They're bad people.
yeah, and he would go pick them up and bring them to the parties, and what he would do is when at the party, when they were partaking in alcohol, drugs, whatever, and they would get high or whatever, he would take one on the side and take them back to his trailer, and he would he would let it be known, tell them, you know, this is it, your life is over, and either he would strangle them or he would shoot them up with antifreeze.
Yeah, that's right. I read
Oh,
that.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I didn't
Yeah.
see that
Could
part.
he would have
Yeah.
a syringe.
Yep.
Sometimes he would just strangle them. Sometimes he would shoot them with antifreeze
Antifreeze. I read
Wow.
that.
in their neck. and I don't know what that would feel like. I would imagine it would be a probably pretty horrific.
Well, I can't
Death.
imagine anything would feel good like something like that. I feel
Yeah,
imagine
but
it would burn, but I don't know.
Antifreeze. I mean, shooting it up into. I mean, he was
In a vein.
Yeah, and then I guess he would strangle them or whatever. But he did this with so many women that I mean, it's horrific when you look at everything about what he did. But and also that the cops were close to catching this guy back in. He started doing this. I think the Piggy Palace party started in 96 or 97.
That's right. This is actually recent. So it's pretty
96, 97.
Yeah.
So not that long ago.
I know. You're like me. You still think the late 90s are recent. No, they're not,
I
Chris.
was just there.
They're not.
I was just there.
I always try to pretend like they are too,
I
but they're
mean,
not.
So he was doing this then, and the cops were aware of this guy. And they actually went and arrested him because there was one girl he tried to kill.
The one that got away?
Got away.
Yeah.
She got away, ran to a neighbor. They took her to the hospital. And while she was there, she was telling about Robert Pickton did this to her, you know. She had a handcuff on her wrist.
He got it with the antifreeze too?
No, he didn't.
No,
He
she
didn't
got
get
that.
her with the antifreeze.
Yeah,
She didn't get her
she
to
got
fight.
away.
He handcuffed her, and I think stabbed her in the stomach or the abdomen or something, but it didn't kill her, and she was able to get away. She actually took a knife from him, I think, and slit his face. And so she ran to a neighbor, and the neighbor, you know, was when they saw her, was like, you know, I got to get you to a hospital. Took her to the hospital. She was telling her story about what happened, and in walks Robert Pickton to the hospital.
What?
Because he had a gash on his face, so he was going there to get treated for his gash, and she was like, "That's him," you know. And so
I didn't know this.
the cops were there.
I feel like Chris was like,
What? The cops were there treating her, and so they instantly turned to him and arrested him.
Yeah.
You know, took him to jail. And while in jail, he told the story. He was like, "No, this is a drug-addled woman who's a prostitute who I invited to our party. I walked in, caught her trying to steal my stuff, and I confronted her, and she turned around with a knife and came and slashed me, and I took the knife from her
And stabbed
and
her.
handcuffed her."
Oh. What? Where's handcuffs from?
Handcuffed her
Because I have them on the back of my
because
side.
I feared for my life. She was trying to kill me, and the cops actually, because he was, you know,
and she was her.
well,
and
she was also probably high and kind of out of it a little
she
bit.
was high and out of it. So they believed him, let him go.
I could see that. That
Because
makes
of
sense.
what
I could
his
see believing
story-
that story. That story
What
does.
his story said.
Yeah, that story
You
adds
know-
up or that story looks right if you see this girl who's coked out of her mind or whatever, and she's a prostitute and she's doing this, and then you see him who's like, she went crazy, and I defended myself. He didn't hurt her. He didn't stab her. He handcuffed her so she couldn't do anything.
She had a
I can
stab
see
in her
that.
abdomen.
Yep.
But did he
But
say?
he said he
that?
did that to try and because
Oh, okay.
she attacked him.
Okay.
You know. So,
Man,
but
I missed this whole when I do my research. I don't know this whole
yeah,
story.
But no,
I'm just listening to Scott. It's
I
feel like I'm there.
no, but and I can understand.
And what happened next, Scott?
I can understand the cop saying, "Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense," you know, especially if she's high and drunk and everything. But it shouldn't be that way. But that was what it was, and so they after they arrested him, they let him go after his story. They said, "Okay," because they tried to bring her back in, and she didn't want to. She they were like, if you truly believe this is what happened, we need to go to court and try and get him. And she was like, I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why was she not?
for whatever reason, I don't know, but she didn't, and so he was.
Was
released.
she worried? Was she worried about being called out for being a prostitute or being on drugs or something like that?
I think she told him that she was scared for her life from him. She didn't want to testify against him.
Yeah, I guess I see a lot. You see that with domestic violence and that kind of thing too. They don't want nobody wants to tell anything.
So that happens, and this is I think in '96 or '97. Now keep in mind, Robert Pickton. I think
get on your microphone, please.
I think Robert Pickton. I think was finally arrested and kept in jail for life in 2002 or 2003. So this was, 6 years earlier?
But he only got convicted of 6
of
the murders.
Convicted of 6 murders.
The 21 was stayed. 21 murders was stayed, but he confessed to
49.
He confessed to 49.
Yeah.
49. He said that he wanted one more to make it even 50.
Yeah. Well, there's a video where, like, when he was in jail, he thought he was in jail with another inmate, but they put a undercover cop in there with him.
That's what you were just talking about when he was telling the story. Yeah.
And the whole thing was video, and you can go online and watch it. And he's like, I'm pissed off. I only got 49. I wanted 50. You know, that's his whole thought process. It's not that I killed all these women. His thought process is I wanted to get to 50, and I didn't.
Well, let's get down to how he killed and processed his victims. So I read he said he used a dildo for a silencer to shoot one of his victims.
He used all kind of stuff
on the gun itself.
On the gun, he put a rubber dildo for a silencer, put it up to the girl's head, and pulled the trigger. I mean, he would do all kind of weird stuff. Like he would hang his victims from meat hooks, drain them, and then after he's done doing whatever to them, he would feed them to the pigs.
Yeah, and he did do that. He fed when he got done doing what he wanted to do to them, and then killed them. It was usually when he'd take them back to his trailer. He said it got him off to let them to see the fear in their face, because he would tell them, "This is it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's over for you. You're done, you know." And he said it got him off to see the fear in their face, and that's when he would either strangle them or he would inject them with antifreeze. But to watch them
just leave them,
die. He said that's what got him off. To me, I mean, this is like one of the most sickest stories I think I've ever, followed.
Well, there's some sick stories out there.
There is, but
you better have a good one.
It might not be safe for YouTube. Be careful how you say this.
But it is. But I mean, he did that, and when he got done doing what he, abusing their bodies and all, and then he killed them, because he had a slaughterhouse, because he had a pig farm. He would carry them to the slaughterhouse and cut them up, dispose of their body. Because, I mean, and this guy, I mean, he really thought he had the perfect plan to get rid where there'd be no evidence.
Because pigs eat everything.
Well, that too. And then also, if anybody was ever to come in and investigate, they would look at it. Even if they saw human blood everywhere, they would assume that it was pig blood, because that's what he did for a living.
Yeah. And that's what he said. He said
even like parts, and I hate to be morbid about it, but even like if there was anything fleshy, you wouldn't know it for sure unless it was like.
And this is the sick thing, is that he went and did this, and he would go to the slaughterhouse after he'd kill the girl, after he'd do whatever he wanted to do with them, abuse them or whatever. He'd kill them, whether by strangling them or shooting them up with antifreeze. Then he would take the body to the slaughterhouse. He would
quarter them up,
cut them up, and feed what he could feed to the pigs. He'd feed to the pigs. And this is his quote. Now, he said he would take the best cuts of meat and make sausage out of it.
I didn't read that part.
He would make sausage, and he would serve it at his parties.
He called it Canadian bacon.
No, but he would serve it. No, he would serve it at his parties, and he would also, because he considered himself a man of the community, he would give the sausage.
Did he serve fava beans with the fava beans?
He would give it to food banks and also to orphanages.
Oh my God, that's like that South Park episode of when
But I mean,
Eric Cartman has the chili contest. You ever seen that?
But I mean,
okay, Google that one.
Tell me, how sick is this guy?
So he's feeding the victims
like
to the community.
That's almighty.
And also, the
This
people
gets
at his
worse
party.
and worse. I'm not like I'm all for it.
No,
Like,
and I mean,
Tell me, did he do this? Please tell me he did this. Did he organize a search party for the person he's looking for?
No.
And then, I'm going to treat y'all to some meal while y'all searching for this person.
wow.
No.
That's some South Park stuff there.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. But I mean, still, to do that with these women that he killed. I mean,
Well,
you had people who could have been eaten.
well, the thing you're saying, like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but what you're saying, he did this to the people he killed. He did, like, just killing the people is bad enough. It was all the other things that he did on top of that, leading them and like getting them to that point before they were unalived, and then after the fact, what happened to them and happened to their bodies after the fact. That's some crazy stuff. That's like Jack the Ripper type thing. That's like we talked about some other people on the show that
I think it's worse than Jack the Ripper.
Well, for sure. Oh no.
Not only that, but
well, I thought Ted Ginn was bad. This dude is
Ted Bundy, and like there's all these crazy.
But
this is crazy.
Not only that, but when like his perfect thing, like he said, he had the perfect plan because he could get rid of somebody where there would be no evidence at all.
Right.
You know, and part of that was he would feed some parts to the pigs that he had.
That's like what Chris was saying, because pigs, they eat everything, the bone and everything. Yep. So that's
but some parts they wouldn't eat. He would gather those parts, and because he was a pig farmer, down the road there was a rendering plant. A rendering plant, if you don't know what it is it takes animal waste and they grind it up and they make a gelatin.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I
know exactly what you're talking about.
Like animal waste, like at the back end?
Animal waste is in parts of the animal, like when they butcher an animal.
Like the bologna.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the parts they don't use
like the
of
tongue,
an animal.
yeah.
Look, nobody wants to talk about bologna and hot dogs because they don't want to know what it actually is.
And this is what it is. But it's animal waste is like what's left of the animal after they get all the meat that is good that they're going to sell. The rest of the animal, they throw nothing away.
Yeah.
And so it goes to a rendering plant. Which is all just
hot dogs
it's grinded up, and they make like a gelatin
potty
out of it. No, which is used
spam.
for
it's called spam.
Stand up
for everything. It's used in makeup.
Yep.
It's used
lipstick. Lipstick.
That's right, lipstick. Yep. I do remember.
It's used in candy, like the wax, like on gummy bears.
Yeah.
The wax coating on it.
That's the thing.
That's what it is. So when you eat that stuff, and women, I'm sorry, but when you put on makeup, lipstick and all, it
putting on pig ass.
It's animal waste. That's what makes, and all this is FDA approved. You know.
Well, yeah, because they've been ethically killed to be processed as meat products, and then the byproduct, or not byproducts, but the extras with the things that are left over, they want to do something with it because that's ethical, according to them.
And that's what it goes to a rendering plant, which is it's all just grinded up and made in this gelatin, which is used for all kind of stuff.
And they can basically just say, well, what can we do with this?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Let's try it on lipstick and see how that works.
So Robert had the perfect plan.
Yeah, and so that's what he would do. He would take the leftover parts that the pigs wouldn't eat, that he couldn't get rid of. He would pack it up in his truck, take it to the rendering plant. The people at the rendering plant knew him because he was a pig farmer, and he would dump all this stuff in there, and they would grind it up. So
Not knowing us human bodies.
not knowing this human bodies, and so you had who knows how many people who have applied some of these women on their lips with a lipstick.
Wow.
Or,
Well, let's
Well, I mean, but
let's
I'm
not go
saying
that far. Now, that being said, so when was the last murder that you know about? When was before he was busted?
He was, I think he was
97?
busting, no, he was
97.
busting 2002. It's when he went to
Okay.
jail.
All right.
I'm talking about
Well, you guys, okay, so 2002, when it went, but before that, but so let's go ahead and let all the women viewers know that there's a good possibility that you're not using people.
That's right.
Soylent Green is not on your. No, that's an old. God, I
Yeah.
feel like a boomer now. No, but I want to say you guys talked about this earlier before we started the program here. I found out that Robert Pickton is dead. He died in
That's-
May of
Of a
2024.
stabbing.
Of
a
He
stabbing.
was attacked in prison.
That's why you was trying
Oh,
to get
was
me
he?
early. Yeah. I thought
No,
you was
I
trying to
didn't
get
know.
me. Because
Yeah.
guess what? You remember at the beginning of the show
Yes.
when I said, you try. And I was like, I'll shut up.
No, I didn't know
He
So
died of
he
a
was attacked
stabbing.
in prison.
Yeah, May of 2024.
So hey, fist up for that guy who
I
did
knew
that.
something. No, you didn't even know. I knew something Scott didn't even know.
I already knew this. I just wanted to see if you did.
I did.
Well, and I didn't know, but I'm glad. Hey,
You had so much information. And
whoever
I felt
whoever
like
did that
I
to
was
Robert
there.
Pickton,
Well, so the women's lipstick doesn't have people in it anymore, but it still has pig parts.
what is
Well, now you say it don't have women in it anymore, but I mean, there's other.
Scott, don't make the people think that. We gotta go.
What? No, I'm sorry, but I had to say that.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode of Guillotines and Guitars.
I hope you sleep well tonight.
I hope you sleep well tonight. Don't put on no makeup. You'll be putting on ass.
Or eat gummy bears.
All right. I hope everybody enjoyed that episode. We thank you for tuning in.
Oh, we're going to
Oh,
hell.
my God. Yeah, we are.
This show is going to get canceled.
Please
We didn't do it.
Please go to YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Facebook. Do all that. Like us. Share us. Thank you so much. This is Guillotines and Guitars. We're out.
Why do you always look at that camera?
I
We're
told
saying
you.
goodbye to
I
everybody.
told you.
That camera right there.
That camera.
Everybody. I'm going to do the
All right, stop talking. We got to go.